Video clip I'm going to show you has a lot to teach us, but the main thing it reveals is one of the reasons why so many Muslims are leaving Islam and becoming atheist. The reason being because apologists like Dr Zakir Naik, who is supposed to be one of the best Islamic apologists out there, a trained doctor, so he tells us, was totally out of his depth when this young medical student asked him one question about evolution. So let's take a look at the clips.
My name is Adnan Jahangir. I'm a medical student and I'm an atheist, but this lecture has convinced me otherwise that Assalamu alaikum is one of the best greetings. My question is, how...
You're an atheist
Yes.
or a Muslim?
No, I'm a Muslim. I'm an atheist, ex-Muslim.
You were a Muslim, now you're an atheist. Okay, brother, go ahead.
All right. My question is of two parts. First one, what is the stance of Islam on evolution? And two, what is the stance of Islam on apostates? The first one, it's how does Islam deal with evolution when, as I'm a medical student, my professors, when they show me the skulls of how humans have evolved throughout millions of years, from Homo habilis to Homo erectus to us Homo sapiens, and when they show proof of how evolution has taken place over the years, how do you disprove that when it is fact? It is not theory or it is not a hypothesis anymore. It is fact. How do you disprove that, if you could answer?
Brother Jahangir has asked a question that what is the Islamic view on theory of evolution? And brother, if I reply to you, then will you come back to the fold of Islam?
If it's a convincing enough answer.
If I give a convincing reply, will you come back to the fold of Islam?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Good. Brother Jahangir has asked a question. He said you are a Muslim and now he's an atheist. And he asked, what is the view of the theory of evolution? For complete, you can refer to my talk on Quran and modern science, which covers in the question and answer theory of evolution. As far as the question on theory of evolution is come, there is no book so far that I have read which talks about fact of evolution. Theory of evolution means a theory. So there is no proof regarding Darwin's theory at all. It's a theory, it's not a fact. Now in most of the schools, they teach Darwin theory as though it's a fact because they don't have any alternative. Because of that. But no scientist at all can say for sure. Yes, there are many scientists who support Darwin's theory. But as far as recent times are concerned, most of the scientists today they do not agree with Darwin's theory. That's the reason in school yet you teach about Darwin's theory. But if you read the latest researches, most of the scholars today do not believe in Darwin's theory as a whole to be correct. No scientist today yet believes. Very few, there may be few. But the majority, they disagree that we have been created from apes. And that's what the Quran says, that we believe in the theory of creation, not in the theory of evolution. The theory of creation, not the theory of evolution. Or rather, I should say the fact of creation. Hope that answers the question, brother.
No.
So where was what did you not understand?
What you say, it is true. It was true. 150 years ago, it was true. It's not Darwin's theory anymore. 150 years of research has said that it's not once. He was just the one who started the ideology of evolution. It has gone over loads, 150 years worth of research with the latest scientific advancements, that it's not what you're saying. When my professor shows me proof, it's not just from apes, which is completely certain. When you see proof how the common cold evolves pathogen, like when it changes its own morphology just to keep up to date with today's vaccines, it's evolving its defense mechanisms against today's latest vaccine.
Brother,
that's
let me tell you one thing.
Right there.
Let me tell you one thing.
It's not Darwin's theory anymore.
Let me tell you one thing, brother. I am a medical doctor. And there are many researches being done. If it turns out to be a fact, it has to come in the medical college.
It is in the medical college. I'm taught this in university.
Sorry?
I'm taught evolution in university. It's
Not
not in
university.
school anymore.
I'm talking about medical. University, you learn about theories and researches. Even in medical, you learn about theories and researches. Once it becomes the fact, it comes into textbooks of medicine. I don't know of any textbook of medicine in any college in the world which says that we have been evolved. It is all these are theories, and I know the research is being done. Even Darwin's theory never came in the medical textbook. And even what you're talking about, I know there are new and new researches being coming on. But none of them yet has proved it to be a fact of evolution. The statement by itself, theory of evolution, means it's a theory. So by English language itself, you don't have to be a researcher. When you say theory, it's a theory. When the theory becomes a fact, it changes, that thing changes into a fact. So by the basic you saying theory of evolution, it means it's an hypothesis.
No.
It is not yet a thought. It's not yet a fact.
There's a difference between hypothesis and theory. A theory is something in science that has the highest honor. When something gains the word theory, it's fact. The theory, in theoretical terms, it's the theory of gravity, but we don't say it, we just say fact. Same way we say the fact of gravity.
Sorry, what did you say? Theory of what?
Gravity. If you say it in theoretical terms, but it's
no theory of gravity. It's a law of. I'm sorry.
Law.
I'm sorry.
It's the law of evolution.
I'm sorry. Your knowledge of science is very weak. It is Boyle's law. It is not Boyle's theory. It is Archimedes' principles. It's not Archimedes' theory. Whatever's theory, when it becomes a fact, it changes into law. I'm sorry, your knowledge is so weak, and I wouldn't like to continue. Your knowledge is so weak.
My question,
I'm
sir.
not here to teach 2 + 2 = 4 in the audience. In the question and answer session, you ask a question, I give the answer. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you throw it.
Okay, just
the thing is that if your knowledge is so weak, you're saying theory is the highest thing in science. I'm sorry, you're absurd. I'm a medical doctor. Theory is the highest thing in science. I'm very sorry, brother.
If someone
I'm
can
Jahangir,
disprove,
brother, I'm very sorry. Theory is never the highest thing in science. If you think just because you're going to a university or coming to fool the people here,
I'm not.
I'm totally sorry. Theory, if it becomes a fact, and if the theory becomes a law, it may reach a high standard. But theory by itself, it's a theory, it's a hypothesis. Once it gets converted, it becomes a law, it becomes a fact. Newton's law, it becomes a fact, it becomes a law. I'm sorry to say that by itself, calling it a theory means it is not yet an established fact. The heart pumps blood. Is it a theory or is it a fact?
It's a fact.
No, the theory of heart pumping blood. Theory of heart pumping blood now. Now, if I'm going to teach you English language here, I feel you are wasting the time of the people. Surely, if you can't understand simple English, that what is the difference between the theory, that theory is the highest thing in science, then I'm sorry, you'll have to go back and learn science.
What about the evidence, sir?
Now, don't get me wrong on this. I know for the fact that many people are leaving the church as well as people leaving Islam, partly because of the theory of evolution. The difference between the church and Islam is that if you ask a well-informed Christian about the theory of evolution, then they will be able to give a strong argument for the case of a supernatural creation by an almighty God. The reason for the differences between Islam and Christianity is that the Christians have had to defend against the theory of evolution from the times when the theory first started to become popular. Islam has had a different history in regards to this subject. In the past, Islam took an approach of just trust the Quran and don't ask questions. As times have changed for various reasons, this has not cut it with a lot of younger Muslims. When they ask questions, Islamic leaders have often not been able to answer their questions, as we see here with Naik in this video. That video has been shown many thousands of times, and I did wonder how many Muslims have left the religion just as a result of watching this video and Naik's poor performance. It is always hard to measure the numbers within Islam for reasons I won't go into in this video, but one thing I do suspect, I bet this video hasn't been available on his channel. To be fair to them, Christianity was weak at defending itself in regard to this subject at first, but over time its resources have grown massively. I will make a mention of the resources a bit later, but first let's discuss what went wrong for Naik. I have to say that I admire this young person who posed the question to Naik. He stood in front of an auditorium with a lot of Muslims present and declared himself to be an atheist, or in Islamic terms, an apostate. Then, with Naik being condescending to him and the audience laughing, he stuck to his guns and pressed on with his question. All Naik could do was point out that it is a theory. It is not a fact. Then he got into a silly argument about the differences between hypotheses, theories and laws. He also made many incorrect statements, such as no proper scientists believe in evolution, but we know the majority do. He also said that no textbook has the theory of evolution in them or state it as a fact, when practically all of them do both. The truth is that the theory of evolution is considered as fact by the majority of scientists, and because of that, the large majority of the public. Fortunately, as Michael Crichton, the author of Jurassic Park, put it, there is no such thing as consensus science. If it's consensus, it isn't science. If it's science, it isn't consensus. Period. In the same article, he also said that the greatest scientists in history are great precisely because they broke with the consensus. What would I have done, or rather, what should Naik have done? Well, firstly, he should have challenged his first statement when he said his professor had shown him evidence with different skulls showing him the change over millions of years. How does he know it was millions of years? How did they date them? How does he know which skulls were human and which were apes or monkeys? Dating is very difficult over thousands of years, never mind millions, and many assumptions are made over the details as they try to fit them into their paradigm. Then I would point out that if evolution is such an established theory, then why are there so many scientists that reject it? Check out this site for the list of well over 1,000 that have at least a PhD to be on there, who've made a public declaration on not holding to the theory of evolution, or at least being unhappy with parts of the theory. Some of them are at the top of their field of study. I would have then got into some of the problems with the theory of evolution, though to be fair, that might have taken too long for the question time slot, such as what was taking place in the auditorium. But time maybe for the few difficulties which could have been covered, or at the very least mentioned that they exist. Now, there may be some ex-Muslims or ex-Christians watching this who have stopped believing in God because of the theory of evolution. They may be feeling some disquiet about this, and something inside them is telling them that something is wrong. I believe that God has put a witness into our hearts that there is more than just this life that we live, and that He's ready and waiting for us to reach out to Him. If you come to accept that evolution is a valid theory after being fooled by the claims of its followers, then you may have a feeling of depression about this because you know deep inside something is wrong. Well, I have some really good news for you. God does exist, and He did create everything that exists exactly as He says in the Bible. You no longer need to go around downcast because you think that He doesn't exist and this world is all there is, and then you die. There is a hope. Evolution has not displaced the need for a God. A little aside here, some have been intimidated by the relentless claims of those claiming to be an authority on how scientific evolution is and how it is proved to be a fact, that some have invented a theory that God used evolution Himself to make everything. This theory has been mocked by the high priest of evolution and anti-God, Richard Dawkins himself, who rightly points out that the Bible and the Quran both teach something entirely differently. On this, at least, I can agree with Dawkins. This organisation is my favourite. This is the YouTube channel for Creation Ministries International, but there's a link on there to their website as well. Not that the website is difficult to find, because it's just creation.com. Take a look through their material. It is packed with info from top scientists. The amount of subjects they cover is amazing, not just on evolution but on other wider subjects. They even cover the subject of UFOs and aliens, and I think this is a very important subject that cannot be ignored. Most people's position on this subject consists of one or two opinions. Either they do exist and the government is covering it up, or alternatively they don't exist at all and all of them can be explained away. Their position is slightly different. They believe most sightings can be explained by normal physical events, but occasionally someone experiences something that is not, and they give what that may be and why. So check it out. Another awesome channel is the ICR, or Institute for Creation Research. As the name suggests, they like to concentrate on research, but they do a lot of public information articles as well. Again, check it out. The third that I will show is the Answers in Genesis channel on organisation. They become famous as an organisation because they built a full-size model of Noah's Ark. To be honest, this is my least favourite of the three channels, as it is, shall we say, not quite to my British taste, but anyway, it has some really good info, especially on their website, so check that one out. To sum up, the question of the theory of evolution is an important one. If true, then it makes both the Bible and the Quran wrong. To be honest, if I'd believed in evolution, then I probably wouldn't be a Christian. If Genesis is wrong on creation, then how can I trust it on original sin? How could I trust it on the need for forgiveness from a wrathful God? How would I know that Jesus really died for my sins? Fortunately, evolution is fake and the Bible has proven itself to be totally reliable. My sins are forgiven, I have peace with God, and you can have the same hope. You don't have to agree with me on this, but I believe the theory of evolution was invented to undermine God's word and to keep people from finding God for themselves. When I say invented, I don't mean by Darwin or some other human, but by a more sinister force. I think you know who I mean. So if you have any further questions on this subject of evolution or anything else for that matter, don't hesitate to post them in the comments down below. So as always, thanks for listening, and may God truly bless you all.